You know what's scarier than the main character in anime? The uncle-type figure, that older guy who doesn't even need to prove himself, but when he does, the entire fandom loses their minds. So today, let's hype up the strongest anime uncles, the characters who've shown the world that being older doesn't mean slowing down. Let's start with the ultimate anime grand uncle, Monkey D. Garp. Luffy's grandpa and the so-called hero of the Marines. The thing about Garp is he doesn't flaunt his strength. He'll laugh, eat snacks, fall asleep during meetings, but this is the same man who fought toe-to-toe with Gold D. Roger, the Pirate King himself. That's like saying your goofy uncle at family barbecues once went head-to-head with Michael Jordan and still trash talks about it. One of his most insane feats? Throwing cannonballs the size of houses with his bare hands casually. And at Marineford, when Ace was about to be executed, you could feel his power radiating. Sengoku literally had to hold him down because if Garp made a move, the war could have flipped instantly. That's the terrifying, laid-back strength that only an anime uncle can bring. From the seas of One Piece, let's jump into the brutal world of Baki, where strength means survival. And who do we find? Kaioh Kaku. Now, here's the crazy part. Kaku is 146 years old. Most people can't even lift their own groceries at that age, but Kaku is trading blows with the ogre himself, Yujiro Hanma. Their fight wasn't just fists, it was philosophy. Kaku represented technique, discipline, and the wisdom of centuries. Yujiro was raw, terrifying, unstoppable power. When the old master stood tall against the strongest creature alive, it was a clash that showed us something important. You don't stop fighting because you get old because you stop fighting. And Kaioh Kaku? He's still proving age is just a number. From the calm wisdom of Kaku, we swing into chaos with Mamoru Takamura from Hajime no Ippo. Takamura is like that wild, hilarious uncle who never shuts up, always cracking jokes, teasing Ippo, being the loudest guy in the room. But when the bell rings and he steps into the ring, that clown disappears and a monster is born. His fight against Brian Hawk is legendary. Hawk had shredded him, left him bloody. The crowd thought it was over. But Takamura, with sheer grit, came roaring back. Every punch screamed, "I refuse to lose." And when his fists finally broke Hawk down, it wasn't just a win, it was proof that beneath all the jokes, Takamura is a champion with the heart of a lion. Now, let's talk about the man who basically defined the anime uncle archetype, Master Roshi. The turtle hermit, the pervy old man. The guy who taught Goku and Krillin the Kamehameha, which, let's be real, is probably the single most copied attack in anime history. Roshi is hilarious. He's lazy, he's cheeky, and he's definitely not the role model you'd want for your kids. But when the Tournament of Power rolled around in Dragon Ball Super, Roshi reminded everyone why he's a legend. Outclassed in raw power, he stood his ground against warriors far younger and stronger, using only skill, strategy, and wisdom. Watching him outthink enemies who could destroy planets was the ultimate reminder. Brains beat brawn. From comedy and wisdom, we move to calm ruthlessness. Bang, aka Silver Fong, from One Punch Man. Bang is the kind of uncle who'll pour you tea, compliment your form, and then smash you through a wall if you disrespect martial arts. His water stream rock smashing fist isn't just a technique, it's a lifetime of discipline. And his fight against Garu, his own student, is one of the most emotional in OPM. It wasn't just master versus disciple, it was family. Bang didn't want to kill Garu. He wanted to save him. Every punch was filled with pain, with regret, with tough love. That's what makes Bang more than just strong. He's human. Now, we can't talk anime uncles without mentioning one of the most beloved, Jiraiya the Toad Sage. Jiraiya is the perfect balance of clown and sage. A pervy old hermit who writes questionable novels, but also one of the most powerful shinobi in history. More importantly, he was Naruto's rock, the one who saw potential in him when the entire village turned its back. His final stand against pain is unforgettable. Outnumbered, body broken, and still smiling because he had faith in Naruto. Jiraiya fought not just for survival, but to pass the torch. His death wasn't just the end of a character, it was the loss of a beloved uncle, someone we all wished could have stayed longer. From the hidden leaf to soul society, let's pour a drink with Shunsui Kairaku. Shunsui is the definition of laid-back uncle. Pink kimono, straw hat, always drinking sake, always dodging paperwork. But don't let the playful exterior fool you. When Shunsui draws his blades and calls his bankai, everything changes. His bankai isn't flashy, it's terrifying. A dark, theatrical execution that drags his enemies into despair. He's proof that the uncle who seems like he's joking at the barbecue is secretly the scariest guy in the room. If Shunsui is the playful uncle, then Yamamoto is the terrifying warlord grandpa. Over 2,000 years old, Yamamoto has fought longer than some worlds have existed. His sword, Ryujin Jaka, is pure destruction, flames so hot they can incinerate anything. When he unleashed his bankai against Yawatch, it wasn't a fight. It was an apocalypse. The ground turned to ash. The air itself felt heavy. Yamamoto didn't just fight. He commanded. Watching him reminded everyone, sometimes the oldest man in the room is the most dangerous. Oh yeah, how can we forget Isaac Netero? Netero was the chairman of the Hunter Association, and when he fought Maruam, the Chimera Ant King, it was a battle of philosophy as much as power. His 100-type Guanyin Bodhisattva was one of the most visually stunning, devastating abilities in anime. Even as Maruam overwhelmed him, Netero laughed. Because he wasn't fighting just to win, he was fighting to prove that humanity's spirit can never be crushed. And when he detonated the poor man's rose, it wasn't just a suicide move. It was his final lesson, that humanity's true weapon isn't strength, it's resolve. Now, let's go old school with Hiko Sejiro from Rurouni Kenshin. Hiko is arrogant, cocky, and always insulting Kenshin. But beneath the sarcasm is tough love. He's the one who taught Kenshin the ultimate sword technique, not because he wanted to, but because he believed in him. Hiko embodies that uncle who will roast you for hours, but quietly protect you with his life. His strength isn't just in his blade. It's in the way he pushed Kenshin to embrace his true potential. And finally, let's not forget Bisky from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, she's technically an ant, but the vibes are too strong to ignore. Bisky looks like a cute little doll. Sweet, harmless, adorable. But when she transforms into her true form, muscles on muscles, a terrifying aura that makes even seasoned fighters hesitate. She's the kind of ant who'll bake you cookies, then bench press your car just to remind you she can. And that's the magic of anime uncles. They're not just side characters. They're mentors, protectors, and sometimes even comic relief. But when the time comes, they unleash the kind of moments that define entire series.